Hey everyone, today we would like to introduce you to Aquagrid House, a residence set amid large trees in Koregaon Park, Pune. Designed by Mindspace Architects, the home attempts to respond to the surroundings by integrating the indoors and the outdoors. Let me give you quick specs. Spread across a plot area of 46,000 square feet, the house with a built-up area of 13,000 square feet was designed as a ground plus one structure with 5 bedrooms. The journey through this house itself is the key design highlight, directed by a series of water bodies which reminds us of traditional temple tanks. Almost every room in the house opens on 3 sides, connecting with the trees all around. If you want to know more about this project story, click on the link mentioned in the description below. It will take you to our website buildify.com, where you can become a member and download a full PDF ebook including detailed floor plans, sections and elevations with dimensions and the material palette. You can also download 200 plus PDF ebooks of the houses pan-India. Till then, I hope you enjoy the video.
There was a chance to create a house which is extremely extrovert and bring nature right into the heart of the house. This is a site in Pune in one of the most prestigious quiet areas. Close to about 1 acre of site. This is existing kind of Art Deco house. And when the clients bought that site, they wanted to demolish that house and totally rebuild it. They were extremely clear about their requirements right from the first day. The site is full of trees and the entire site towards the south had these huge banyan trees. It is roughly about 55 meters by 70 meters. And there are these huge cluster of trees here. There's one large cluster here. One of our challenges is how do we really insert this entire built form within these existing trees. And the bylaws in this area are extremely stringent. FSI is only 0.66 and the ground coverage is 33%. So you end up leaving a lot of green space around, and we were trying to sort of respond to the entire site conditions. So it's almost like an enclosure by itself, and there was hardly any overlooking into the site. One of the initial ideas was to create this entrance court. So you come into this entrance space which is semi-private, and then slowly you discover the entire house. So we started with this 2 very strong accesses along which this entire plan fitted in. We worked with strong water bodies because one of the requirements was to have this pool. We started taking the water across. That's the water body which runs across. It starts from outside, goes into the house, goes under the courtyard, comes out from the house, and then cascades down right into the pool. It's almost forming a kind of a grid which is interwoven with the internal spaces. So you come into the courtyard, come into this veranda. This creates a kind of a inward space where you bring in cars as well. There's a place for about 5 cars, but they are all parked between these trees. So you have this cobblestone kind of a court with large steps, sculptures kept there, and that was the idea right from the beginning. You come into the space where you get glimpses of the house. There is a privacy maintained for the rest of the house. During Diwali and some of the festivals, they light up lamps. So we sort of created a feature out of those brass lamps onto the wall. There are some of these existing trees which go between this compound wall. And slowly you discover this living room, which is almost open towards these three sides. Towards the left side, there was a requirement of a kind of a music room or a playroom. If required, could be converted into additional bedroom. So there is a provision of a toilet, but this entire room opens out into the courtyard here. The idea was, if you open up this thing when you entertain, the living room actually could open up into this music room and then open out into the courtyard. So these are different focal points that you get. As you come in, you have these steps and then you have a strong focal point here. As you come across and walk across this bridge, you get another focal point here. So there are series of vistas, one after another. Literally the entire house opens up in all these different directions. It becomes one space happening at different levels with different light qualities, because you get a direct light coming in the middle with this water and with a very strong connection with outdoor. Initially, they wanted the living room to be enclosed, but as we started feeling the spaces, all of us very strongly felt that there is no need to enclose this area and have a very strong connection with this water. On the south side, there is this huge lawn. There are level differences within that. These are set of banyan trees which are forming a natural barrier, and you create a large space for entertainment. There is a kitchen and a utility here, so the serving happens from here, right from the kitchen. We wanted almost each room like a pavilion sitting within the garden. The way it is planned, that every room opens out literally on three sides, so you can either see water or the external greenery. Every bedroom has a veranda, whether you are on the ground floor or on the upper floor, which really brings you closer to the nature. There is a gym here and there are other services at the end with a pool here. We were just trying to create a lot of these outdoor sitting areas under these large trees. There's one huge gulmohar tree here. We kept our material palette fairly limited. We have black flooring which is going across the entire house. We had images of these old temple floors which are used over the years, and that rough stone gets that little sheen when you see from an angle. Eventually we settled with one of these porcelain tiles which has a very, very similar kind of a feel to it. But it is always edged with a natural stone which is grey granite. This stone comes from Madurai called Shiva Gold. So we try to use different textures. It's not just, we wanted to have that roughness, casting very sharp shadows. This whole idea of wrapping this entire house with this Madurai stone, Shiva Gold. There's a lot of detailing which went into it. This is a dry cladding, close to about 40 to 50 mm thick stone, and with a gap of about 50 mm behind, and it has a clamping. These clamps hold the stone, and there is an air gap behind. And these different textures are used to complement the entire form. We would spend hours on it, trying to perfect it, trying to get that right proportions. And especially along the water, we wanted that feel of, that ghat kind of thing, or a temple tanks where you see these steps leading right up to the water, where you can put your feet into the water and sit. We wanted that black color to go through even in the water, and one of the reasons for that was the kind of reflections you get. So the trees that we retained, you see their presence through the water bodies. You see that foliage, the flowers and the leaves falling into the water. So that whole ambience of the reflected light which gets bounced off the water and sort of fills up the entire space, that has a very different quality, because Normally we are always used to seeing light coming from the top, but when you see this reflected light of the water, it has a totally different ambience. There is wood which is used as one more element, which is used in some of the bedrooms just to get that warmth. The same wood texture goes onto the ceiling. There are some of these veranda soffits which has a kind of a wood feeling, which is used as a false ceiling. From the climatic point of view, we created these large cantilevers that became a feature against a rough stone wall. These are actually laminated sheets, so you see that wooden texture against the stone wall, and the same softness gets carried through the whole house. That feature of the wood which happens as a skylight comes down as a paneling onto the wall. So that entire feature, it's almost like a wood from the wall turning into the ceiling, and the insertion of that element within the whole volume. We have created these stone screens outside along with the stone cladding, using these stone slabs in different directions with perforations. So the same element, we turned it through 90 degrees and created a kind of a ceiling out of it. And it has some of these supporting steel structure for spanning across. And that is something which creates a direct, indirect, semi-direct light. Finally, when you touch something, when you are very close to that whole tactile feel, that's where you start feeling that you need to add some additional features to create that connection, emotional connection. These motifs were added next to the entrance, cut out of water jet, using 2 layers of stone and creating these features. Next to the water, we wanted one sculpture of a tortoise, which is almost like coming and sitting out of the water onto the steps. Different textures were used for the paving, for the stone, especially when it came to these steps next to the water. We wanted those edges to have some kind of a vertical lines carved onto the stone. Eventually, the clients wanted almost entire house to be run with the solar power. One additional element of that pergola came, which sat on the top of the entire structure. This one more layer got added onto the whole building. It's a functional requirement and it's an environmental requirement. So
another element we thought of bringing in was almost like a thin strip of light blending from the inside to the outside. So you have a cladding wall which has a motif and a strip of light that runs through, and you can almost see the reflection exactly the way it is. And the same element is repeated on the outside facade, that is the cladding wall on the gym. Everything was meant to feel like a sculpture in itself.
The clarity of brief from the clients were one of the major factors. There is a stone cladding outside. If it is turning in, those things have to be taken, the lines have to be carried through, and the material which is going in should have texture which is complementing it instead of conflicting it. When we were going around in the Cologne fair, we would see something and then we would try to find out if there is a wall where we can put it. One such item was the mirror clock, which there was a wall at the entry where we wanted to put it, and it actually came out really nice. A lot of these lamps, lamp shades. So there were quite a few brands which we were playing around with, like the sofas were from Walter and all. The clients were a part of you, and they were very practical. So if you had a kitchen, they wanted to source it from something which can be maintained locally at Pune. Then the cupboards, so these were all actually done up by a furniture team from Mumbai. The whole house is actually air cooled, so you have a lot of ducting. You don't experience this because there is a lot of coordination which has happened. I have to give credit to two of my colleagues, Hitesh and Daniel Gladson, who worked on it, so that you just see some few slits out there, and that is how this comfort ambience is created.
There are two more people, Yatindra and Hitesh, who were almost integral part of this entire design development process. We actually enjoyed it thoroughly working on this house. I think a lot of credit goes to the clients, because whatever was decided, whatever was frozen was never changed. And this is one of the first experience for us, especially doing the houses, because whenever we do houses, it undergoes so many changes. But in this house, we never had to rework on anything. Whatever was done was just taken forward. No time was wasted on the site. It was an enjoyable process of learning something and doing something together as a one team.